Welcome to this time to slow down, this time to relate with yourself, your thoughts and your sensations, and all of the things that make up your experience. We are hitting pause, if you will, to notice, to observe. Observation's a huge component of what we're doing. It's kind of a big part of where our class is going to be focused on today. That's kind of my intention for where I'd like to guide you. But I ask you to consider, what is your intention? Meaning, what would you like to receive from your practice? And before we begin, allow your mind to consider that thought. As you make space to relate to yourself today, is there something that you know you need? A bit of patience, some compassion. Maybe you're just curious about all of this. You're open to what comes. In this way, setting an intention gives us a reference point, something to bring our mind back to when it gets lost in kind of all the ways that the mind sometimes gets lost. And even our intentions we set for practice, we hold softly. Try not to become too rigid and make them a binding contract. Rather, they're something that just acts as a guide. Should we get too far off the track that we're on? If you haven't done so already, close the eyes. Let your attention turn inwards, and we'll begin the process of observing. In our practice, observation refers to really just noticing what's happening in the moment without judgment of what's happening in the moment. That is a strong point. So you're hearing sounds. You might be feeling things and sensations in your body. You might have a series of thoughts running through the mind that are occurring. There's no right answer to what you're observing. And in this observation process, we also naturally kind of fall into describing what we're noticing. And in the same way that I asked you to be neutral and Notice without judgment. It's the same with our descriptions. It can be hard to do because as you try this exercise, you notice the ways that you language things, the words you use to describe what you're feeling. They're not always neutral. Sometimes they're not even supportive. But in this way, the practice affords us the opportunity to work differently with ourselves, to relate to ourselves in a different way, in a more loving way, in a more helpful way, in a way that doesn't induce additional stress. You might notice the physical weight of your body being supported in the chair, by the floor, by the cushion or mattress beneath you. Notice that this is what it feels like to allow yourself to rest in support. You might notice and observe the breath and the way it moves through the body. Noticing the stream of thoughts that kind of outline all of what's happening in this moment. Noticing how things feel in the body when you're holding this non judgmental awareness in presence with them. You might notice where resistance appears, meaning there's things that you don't want to engage with or you want to be distracted from, or that could be a sensation or a particular set of thought patterns. Actively choosing in this moment how you interact with those, how you relate to them, should they be present for you. in addition to being an opportunity to deepen how we relate to ourselves, our practice also serves as an opportunity to help deepen and improve our ability to concentrate. So when we're in this space of open, non judgmental awareness, there is a lot going on, thoughts and feelings and sensations and certain beliefs and all the things have the floor. For this next part of practice, I'd like to direct our attention in a much more focused way, choosing an anchor and seeing how long we can hold our attention in the present moment on it. An anchor could be following your breath in and out, holding your attention on each detail of the inhale and the exhale breath. An anchor could be focusing on your body and the sensations that you feel within it. Letting your attention rest in one of those places and focus on any sensations arising. Still continuing to meet the moment with curiosity, openness, patience, compassion. When we concentrate our attention, it can also seem as though the distractions increase. That you find yourself focusing on the breath one moment, and then the next you're lost in a series of thoughts about everything that happened today or some other concern that hasn't happened yet. Please know that if you find yourself experiencing that throughout practice, that the simple act of recognizing that you're not where you want your focus to be is the primary work of your practice. The secondary work is to return back to focus in the softest, kindest way that you can. This process of distraction and returning back to your anchor is where our discipline is built. It's where we become disciples of this idea that over time, with patience and practice, we can influence our minds in helpful and supportive ways. by stepping back into the space of observation. We learn to put some distance between us and the belief that we are our thoughts. Over time, as our focus improves, we can start to use our intentions in combination with the skills of focusing to start to shape and impact our internal worlds differently. An example of this is allow your attention to move from focusing on your anchor or your object of focus, and allow it to move to a collection of joyous thoughts. Um, and that could be anything that you've recently experienced, maybe something you've experienced in the past, but allow your mind to reflect on a moment or moments of joy. It doesn't matter the size or the gravity, but it's as if you're allowing yourself to recall the moment in as much detail as you possibly can. As you think about the memory, allow any colors and sights and sounds to enter your visual field. As you sit with the moment, notice the way that trickles down into your body and where you feel the associated sensations. In this exercise, there's no limits to how you scale this in size or enjoyment. It's merely meant to remind us that what we think about ripples through our feelings and our body and our breath. And eventually it moves from within us to the world around us. And it reinforces showing up to practice, to move through the world a bit more mindfully, to choose our words that we use to speak to ourselves carefully, to welcome what we feel in our body with the tenderness of an old friend. to notice when our mind is not supporting us and pulling us into the past or to a future that's yet to unfold. Allowing your focus to relax, staying with the sensations of the body, returning to the point of observation that we started practice with. Our mind is always at work creating our worlds, our internal world first, and eventually spilling over and into our actual physical world. Sitting with and being with the full experience of yourself in this moment simply guides you back to the thread that connects us all. That we're all on a path, observing ourselves move through it. We might be in different stages, but our experiences are the same. In this way, we're reminded that we're more alike than we ever could be different. Taking this time to notice what today's practice was like for you. As we close out practice today, I would like to offer the merit of this practice. The merit is the collection of the work that we've done together as a group. And it's the idea that in doing this work for ourselves, we are collectively benefiting all those around us. And so may the merit gained through this practice swiftly bring all beings to the realization of their true nature. And through that blessing, may all beings, without one exception, be liberated. May others start to find their way towards the path in which you're on. When you're ready, you can start to blink your eyes open, wiggle your hands, move things around a little bit, take in the world. It's funny, our practice moves from formal to informal really quick, but being mindful never really changes. It just gets kind of louder. And you've got to learn how to decipher through that noise a little bit more than when you're focused in practice.